What's up, residents? So today we have a special guest on the channel. You've heard him before. We keep him locked in the basement sometimes, but not right now. We've let him out. Mr. Klayton Fioriti. What's up, man?
It's so good to be out of there, man. I'm so happy.
I know, it's stinky down there. I don't know how you deal with it.
You get used to it after a while, especially I see everybody wearing masks on the outside when I look out the window, so it can't be that bad in here.
That's true. All right, Klayton, so what we're going to talk about is something that I think Jurassic fans all over the place over the last week or so have really kind of brought up about Camp Cretaceous. I'd say it's one of the more main topics I see being discussed, and that is the Carnotaurus from Camp Cretaceous that everybody's starting to call Toro. Is it one of the ones from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? So what do you think, Klayton? Do you think there's even a chance that this could be the same Carnotaurus? Because is Camp Cretaceous even officially canon? What do you say, Dinosaur Man?
It is canon. I have talked to people that have worked on it or people that have been in the space around it. It's official canon. Now, I think there's a good chance that this Carnotaurus could be the one at the end of Fallen Kingdom, but there's also a few things working against it, so it's kind of open for debate at this current moment, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's definitely not the one that we see Rexy demolish in the first part of the movie. If you look at the Carnotaurus from the end when they're about to escape, it's during the gas scene specifically. If you zoom in real close, this Carnotaurus, his skin looks charred, which, spoilers if you haven't watched Camp Cretaceous, we're going to talk about some spoilers. So Toro gets more or less Darth Vader. He gets Anakin'd pretty much more or less. His scales and skin get completely burned to the point where he's definitely going to have scars coming out of it. And earlier on in the series, we actually see Toro cut his face open. He gets a gash when he's, going after Darius, right? And he charges into the fence, I believe.
Yep.
So, and this kind of lines up with the Carnotaurus that we see right here in this picture. As you could see, they look charred. I don't know if you're looking at the picture right now too, Klayton, but you can see it looks blackened. Definitely like it's been on the barbecue for a while. And if you look real close, it actually has scars on its face as well. So obviously dinosaurs get scars. They fight a lot. But it's almost like they recognize that Carnotaurus from Fallen Kingdom and decided to give it a backstory, potentially, with Camp Cretaceous.
Yeah, it's very possible because I've seen interviews before where Camp Cretaceous was actually in the cards since 2017. And, Fallen Kingdom came out in 2018. So some of the ideas for the show probably were made around the time Fallen Kingdom was either being filmed or, when writing was getting finished up. One thing about the Carnotaurus scar, though, on the muzzle for, just to have some conversation thrown in the mix is in the image in Fallen Kingdom where it kind of roars while it's walking by all the other dinosaurs, the scars are on the left side of its face, but Toro from Camp Cretaceous, if we look at the image where it gets its scar, it's on the right side of its face. Now, obviously, there are continuity errors in the Jurassic Park franchise. There's loads of stuff that doesn't add up. For example, in the original Jurassic Park, if you go to the scene where Grant's turn the light off, and we see the T-Rex walking over to the other car, the door is shut. However, in the very next shot, Timmy shuts the door, even though it's shut, which is what causes the T-Rex to look down and get there, to start scaring the kids and stuff. So if this is the same Carnotaurus, it looks like we're looking at a pretty big continuity error as far as the scar goes. But if this is simply an early scar that the dinosaur gets, and maybe later on in Camp Cretaceous it gets those two slashes that we see in the Fallen Kingdom Carno on the other side of the face, it's very possible that this could be the same animal. Another thing with the Fallen Kingdom one, though, I don't know if you noticed this, but one of its horns are broken off. I think it's the horn on the left side, and I'm not sure. It's hard to tell exactly, but in every picture I've seen, it looks like Toro has two horns, but one of them is noticeably shorter. Do you think the same thing, or am I going crazy here?
It almost looks like one of them is a little bit stubbier than the other one. I believe his right one almost looks a little bit more stubby. It doesn't look broke though. There's a chance that it might be
It's just
a
shorter.
little bit more shorter.
Yeah.
So there's possible hints going on there as well. And like you said, we don't know what has happened in the time between Camp Cretaceous and Fallen Kingdom. It's like, what, 4 years? So there's plenty of stuff that could happen to Toro to give it more scars on the other side. I wouldn't even be surprised if Blue shows up in Camp Cretaceous Season 2 and they have a little throwdown, because Toro is obviously, they're making it off to be a bad guy. They didn't kill it off, so if it's not completely dead, then I wouldn't be surprised if later on he wants to come back for revenge, and I could see some sort of Blue being the guardian of these kids. I could just see them making something like that. But you're right, though. There are a lot of, in all movies, not just Jurassic, and in any big movie, even the ones you love, you'll see these tiny little weird, just filming errors, like what you described with the door being closed and then it's open again.
Yeah.
One of my personal favorites is from Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers, and I've noticed this almost since like the beginning that I've watched it. That one of the elves, when the Helm's Deep battle is going on, they do this big panning shot as everybody's the Uruk-hai are charging up through Helm's Deep after they get in, and you just see this one archer. He's firing nothing. You see him pulling the bowstring back,
Really?
and just nothing's coming out because all the arrows that you see fired in Lord of the Rings
Digital.
are CGI. Yeah. So they just like left that guy out, and he's kind of out in the open. It's not like he was way in the distance, like a tiny little speck. This was like a live action, actual, one of the actors was there, and he was doing the thing trying to look like a badass, and you just see him pulling the string back with nothing and firing it. And it's hilarious. It doesn't ruin it, but I've just noticed this for so long, and I'll try to find it. Hopefully it's not just my version that I see that in, and maybe I'll plop it up in the video here, but there's stuff like that in movies all the time. So there is still a chance that this Carnotaurus from Fallen Kingdom is Toro, the one from Camp Cretaceous, and I think that'd be cool. We talked about this in the video that we did over on your channel. It's nice to see Jurassic finally start to build a universe, more of an established lore and like a connection between everything. It just makes it more exciting.
Yeah.
When everything's together, and it can go on for decades, and you can just, I mean, we see what happens to like the Lord of the Rings and, like I said, Middle Earth. I'd say those are two of the biggest, if not the biggest, maybe with Harry Potter franchises, with building massive outside canon, I guess you would say. And Jurassic Park, for being one of the biggest franchises ever, it doesn't have any video games, really. It doesn't have many books other than the main ones. It doesn't really have much external sources, so it's nice to see potentially this coming together. And I think Toro here could be one of the first connections that we see with the Jurassic movies, and hopeful more and more expanded universe stuff in the franchise. What do you think, Klayton?
Oh, totally. And I also think, I mean, by the way, I know that they've already completed a lot of stuff on season 2, but they're definitely hearing people talk about this Carnotaurus. So even if, originally it wasn't planned to be the same one, I'm pretty sure that they're looking at it and going, what would be really easy for us to do and sort of build the universe out further is, let's just make this the same Carnotaurus. Like, how hard could it be to add a scene in where, you just line this animal perfectly up with the one from Fallen Kingdom? It would be pretty easy, and everybody would like it. As we've already seen, this is one of the big talking points that people have coming out of Camp Cretaceous. So, yeah, it does nothing but good. And personally, I just think it's fun. I mean, like you said, with all the other franchises that have external lore that, builds everything out further, Jurassic has never had that. They've tried a couple of times, but they didn't really try. It's with stuff like Trespasser, where they completely screw up the timeline by not paying attention to even the movies that they're trying to build out, and there's just all kinds of errors there. But something like this can be done so easily and can have such a good fan reaction. I don't see why they wouldn't do more of this. Like, who's to say that Bumpy might survive off the island and not get killed by the volcano? Maybe that was one of the ankylosaurs that was sold in Fallen Kingdom. As a matter of fact, we should probably go back and see if the one in the cage during the auction has the asymmetrical stubs on its head.
That'd be wild.
If it is Bumpy, that would be pretty awesome.
That really would be, although it'd be a little sad too, because, you know, everybody loves Bumpy, and then poor Bumpy grows up, he figures out life sucks, he's forced to get a job, sold on the black market.
Better than burning alive on the island.
I guess you're right. We all remember the Brachiosaurus. Yeah. Tragic.
Sad.
Yeah, so I think there is a good chance that we're going to see more and more, like you said, combining new Jurassic expanded lore with the movies, and I'm excited for that. So everyone, make sure and let us know, do you think Toro, the Carnotaurus from Camp Cretaceous, is the same one from the end of Fallen Kingdom? Make sure and comment down below. And before you leave, Klayton also is going to make a more, what would you say, Klayton, a more detailed, in-depth, we kind of just talked about it. He's going to go in deep on this subject over on his channel, and I'll let him tell you when he's planning on getting that out.
It'll be soon. If anything, it'll be a little more condensed. You're probably getting the better version here, but I am going to talk about this in the future. I'll just give my thoughts at the end, but I'll give all the speculation that all the fans are going over right now in a small form.
Yeah, for sure. And if you residents like hearing from Klayton and I more often, maybe we can get Al involved too, just let us know. We'll do more of these discussion videos and have more fun. So thank you guys for watching. Feel free and like and subscribe and do all that stuff, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.
Bye-bye. That was pretty good.
Dude, Klayton.